Piggy and Dad Go Fishing by David Martin, illustrated by Frank Remkiewicz. What's that, friends? It looks like cans of worms, doesn't it? Piggy woke up excited. Today he was going fishing with Dad for the very first time. Dad was already up getting the fishing poles ready and making Piggy's favorite lunch, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on squishy bread. Now all we need are worms, and tonight we'll have the world's most delicious fried fish for supper, said Dad. So Piggy dug up worms faster than he could say delicious fried fresh fish. When they got to the river, Dad asked Piggy if he wanted to bait his own hook. Okay, said Piggy. He took a worm and he hung it over his hook. The worm wiggled and fell off. Piggy tried again. This time he tried the worm, tied it in a knot around the hook. The worm untied itself. Piggy, I'm afraid you really have to poke the hook into the worm. Piggy looked at the worm, and the worm smiled at Piggy. Do you want me to do it, Dad asked. Dad looked at the worm, and the worm smiled at Dad. Let's use bread for bait instead, said Dad. So Piggy and Dad pinched bread from their sandwiches, squished it into little balls, and baited their hooks. Then they threw in their lines. Now, said Dad as he sat down, you have to be very patient. Fishing takes a lot of waiting. A fish has to be hungry. It has to think about eating. It has to find the bait. It has to look at it. And then it has to think about it. And then say to itself, that looks pretty tasty. And it has to nibble the bait and decide if it's really good. And then finally, it has to bite the whole thing, hook and all. But Piggy wasn't good at waiting. He pulled his line out and he threw it back in. And he pulled it out and he threw it back in again and again. Nothing's happening, he said. You can't hurry fish, said his dad. Soon they both fell asleep. But they held on to their poles. Suddenly, Piggy's pole bent hard. I got a bite, he shouted. Piggy pulled, and the fish pulled. Piggy pulled again, and the fish pulled again too. And the fish jumped, and Piggy slipped. Dad grabbed Piggy, and Dad slipped. Splash! But finally, Piggy reeled in his fish. Good job, said Dad. It's a beauty. Piggy smiled, but then he looked at his fish, and his fish was looking right back at him. My fish looks sad, said Piggy. Do you think he really feels sad? I don't know. I never thought about it, said Dad. Piggy and the fish stared at each other. Can I let him go? Said Piggy. Sure, said Dad. So Piggy slipped the fish back into the water. Bye-bye, fishy, he said. Watch out for hooks next time. The fish flipped its tail and was gone. Then while they ate lunch, Piggy made more bread balls and tossed them into the water. What are you doing? Asked Dad. I'm fishing, said Piggy. But you're just feeding the fish, said Dad. I know. That's because it's a different kind of fishing. You should try it, said Piggy. Look at all the fish, said Dad. This is fun. Why didn't I ever think of feed the fish fishing? The next day, Piggy and Dad went fishing again. As a special treat, Dad brought donuts, some for Piggy and some for himself, and all the rest for the fish. The end.